ideas, and a willingness to learn from each other. Our theme for the day, teacher training and professional development, is the foundation for educational excellence. The National Education Policy 2020 reminds us that teachers are not merely transmitters of knowledge, but facilitators, mentors, and lifelong learners. And for that, ongoing training and reflective practice are essential. Before we begin, I would like us to pause and reflect: how often do we as educators truly invest time and effort in our own learning and growth? Continuous professional development is the key to inspiring and guiding our students effectively. And that is exactly what we will be exploring together in today's session. Now, I request our respected Dean, Dr. M.K. Tyagi, sir, to kindly deliver the welcome address and set the tone for today's session. Over to you, sir.
Very good morning and welcome to all our dignitaries, Dr. Anuradha Amos, Dr. S.C. Panda, guest speaker of today, Dr. Neelam Mehta Bali, HOD Dr. Mugdha Anand, Dr. Poonam Pandey, Dr. Nisha Tyagi, Dr. Indu Kushwaha, Dr. Priyanka Bhardwaj, Dr. Kavita Singh, and all respected professors, participants for today's FDP program. I welcome on behalf of my college, St. Thomas College of Education. I would like to thank all the organizers to carry out this job decently and very beautifully. So I wish to all of you to keep the flag high of academic excellence in St. Thomas College of Education. Your valuable suggestions are always welcome. As we know, completion is always need improvement. We are the professors, you are the professors, but when we have the interaction on academic platform, it gives a great resource of power so that we can move forward and keep the standard high of our college, St. Thomas College of Education. Once again, morning, welcome, and all the participants, please keep it up, the spirit high, and our faculty members. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for your insightful and encouraging words. Now I request our HOD, Dr. and then
Thank you, Nisha ma'am. Good morning, everyone, and a very warm welcome to all of you. I would like to take this opportunity and feel privileged today to welcome our distinguished guest of the day and resource person, Dr. Neelam Ali ma'am. She is Associate Professor at College of Education, University of Delhi. I feel pride to share with you all that she is my teacher and mentor when I was doing grade in the year 2004-2005 batch in Maharshi Valmiki College of Education. I have learned about philosophical and sociological perspectives of education from ma'am, and since then 20 years have been passed. And आज मुझे फिर से लग रहा है कि मैं मैम की क्लास अटेंड करूंगी और मैम से फिर कुछ नया सीखने को मिलेगा, सुनने को मिलेगा। और सबकी तरफ से, अपने डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से मैम का एक बार फिर से शुक्रिया अदा करना चाहती हूँ कि वो हमारे बीच शामिल हुई हैं। थैंक यू मैम, थैंक यू सो मच मैम।
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mugdha ma'am, for your kind words. Let us proceed to the next part of our program, where we will be hearing from our esteemed resource person. It is my privilege and honor to introduce an academician whose contribution to the field of education speaks volumes. Dr. Neelam Mehta Bali ma'am, Associate Professor at Maharshi Valmiki College of Education, University of Delhi. Dr. Bali has been shaping the future of teachers since 1990, bringing with her over 3 decades of invaluable experience in teacher education. She holds a PhD degree and MPhil in Philosophy of Education, complemented by MAd with a gold medal and a PhD, making her academic accomplishment as remarkable and inspiring as her distinguished teaching career. Her expertise in philosophy of education, teacher education, and peace education reflect not only her scholarly depth but also her commitment to nurturing thoughtful, reflective, and socially responsible educators. Over the years, she has been an integral part of many academic and policy initiatives, including contributing to the drafting of the Bharatiya Shiksha Board framework and curriculum, guiding numerous MA dissertations, publishing widely in reputed journals, and writing book chapters that enrich the academic discourse. Her research endeavors include completing a prestigious ICPR-funded project on the philosophical basis of pedagogy, and her role as a referee for MPRI Journals of Education speaks to her standing as a respected voice in the academic community. Beyond her academic achievements, Dr. Bali is known for her dedication to teacher empowerment, her ability to inspire through ideas, and her vision for education as a transformative force. She believes that teachers are not just conveyors of knowledge, but nation builders and change makers. When the conversation turns to teacher training and professional development, the name of our esteemed speaker naturally takes center stage. We are indeed fortunate to have her with us today. Without taking much more of your time, I now warmly invite Dr. Neelam Mehta Bali ma'am to share her insights, experiences, and vision with us. With great respect, I request you, ma'am, to kindly address the gathering. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much, all of you. I'm sorry, sometimes the voice is breaking up. I hope I am audible. Am I clearly audible,
Yes, ma'am.
please?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam.
Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
very much. My respects to all the senior academicians, colleagues, and fellow academicians here. And I think I have been praised more than I deserve. And I am going to make a very humble effort to interact and share my experiences with the members who are participating in the FDP here today. And my discipline itself, makes me engage people with the very, very fundamental situations of day-to-day life. And I am primarily interested in reminding people of their capacities, of their potential, of their abilities, and they encourage people to come forward and take up those efforts, initiatives which can help them to better perform their role as educators. As I begin with this discussion, I would look forward to some, individuals who can come forward and express what do they hope to get from these FDP programs. And from those, I would like to move on further. I would be very happy if some individuals who have come forward for this FDP program share with me what is it that they are looking forward to. NEP is a document which is available there with all of us. And we have that ability and learning that we can read and interpret it for ourselves. However, what we need to deliberate upon is to engage in a dialogue wherein we share our observations and experiences, and therein we begin with the process of reflection. And of course, in this whole process, we also need to understand and appreciate that each individual will have different perspectives. How do we add on to each other's perspectives? How do we receive from different perspectives of different individuals? It is that which I think makes the FDP a truly enriching experience? So I would first like to hear from individuals as to what are their hopes and expectations from this FDP session. Some of the any one of the participants can come forward and share what do they expect from an FDP. Yes, please. I can either get receive in a chat, or if individuals who want to voice their expectations can raise their hands, and or the coordinator can uh, raise those questions from them.
Uh,
Yes,
Good morning,
please.
ma'am.
Good
Yes.
morning.
Hi, I am Dr. Naresh Pora from Gujarat. Ma'am, that's where we can focus on FDP. So generally, the words indicate that faculty induction program. So
Yeah.
we expect from this FDP, not generally say that is the title of that futuristic a concern of NEP. There was a drastic change in new national education policy. What is going on in we can say the traditional style of education when generally we studied, and there was a drastic change in this national education policy. We focus on the skill base. We focus on the other activities in which the boy or a student become active participant, and they become a well developed citizen or well equipped a citizen for the future of the nation. And in the sense we can say that it is the duty of the teacher, and how the traditional education will be changed, or we can say transform into the requirement of the new period of a new era of the, we can say, the technocratic time period, or the robotic or AI time. How we can change the skills requirement of the nation and requirement of the teaching for the future citizen of the nation, as per my concern, madam.
Thank you very much, Dr. Naresh. And anybody else? Anybody else would like to share what are they expecting to get from this FDP? Yes, we are almost, I think, 150 participants are there, and I would be very happy if any one of you can further voice your expectations. Yes, Kavinderji, you are mentioning teacher training and professional development. Okay. Now tell me, what are the issues that you face as an educator? To my mind, the very first thing that has to be in the as part of an FDP is to take cognizance of the issues that we are facing presently. Because it has not to be a generic, lecture that I have to give. A true professional development means, that we first identify the issues that we are facing. Yes. So, may I have from some of the participants the issues that they are facing so that we address those as part of your professional development? Dr. Naresh, would you like to share some of the issues that you face as a practitioner? Anybody else? Because learning can happen only when we find solutions, look for solutions for our problems. A true faculty development program is not something which is just providing an update. We can all look for updates through the Google services on our own. What a Google service cannot provide us with is that which we can achieve through a dialogue. Okay. And therefore, what I would request is that I find your responses, uh, with me so that we can move on further. Okay. So, Sayanika Senagupta has mentioned that NAP students study VSC and USC paper sometimes. Students don't want to do so. How can we motivate them to do these classes and let them know that it is important? Good question, response. Thank you very much. Then Shivakumar ji has said professional development aspects, including leadership skills, personality development, and problem solving skills. Fine. Now, thank you very much for these responses. Let us look at these issues. Why are we facing these issues of motivation? Let me address this concept first. Right? We find that today's students, they don't come into teacher education because they aspire to be teachers or educators. They have come to seek an opportunity of employment. For them, an employment of as a marketeer or an employment of a teacher, they don't have much difference. So the most important part for us as educators is first to recognize that how is teaching as a profession distinctly unique and different from other professions. Now, if then the other questions, when I am as a person of philosophy speaking, I take up with me the issues that are concerned, which are ethical. I take up issues which are of the concern of pedagogy, and I take up the issues which are concerned with epistemology. Why? Because whenever we are talking about any like the courses that one of you has mentioned, when we talk about value-added courses or other courses, I'll just share with you something which happened in my class just now. It's in the first week or that we are having this class. It was just the second class that I had with my group today. And I asked them to identify the criteria of internal assessment. So one young boy, he smiled and he said, "Ma'am, why do you want to set a criteria? Why would you not, there are 15 marks for internal assessment. Why don't you give good marks to everybody and make everybody happy?" Now, how do you think I should answer this question? How would any one of you answer this question? Anyone, would you like to answer this? The question of why. Well, I'll continue in that case. Very often we tell them this is what the system requires. That the curriculum states there are so many marks for internal assessment, so it has to be done. Now, what I discussed with this class was, I said, all right, how do you look at internal assessment? So the boy said, "Ma'am, when we will go for a job, these marks will make people consider us as very good candidates for the job." And I was amused. I said, if you will go with this, do you think they will just choose the person on the basis of merit? So then I asked them to think, how is a person selected for a job? So then they realized that there are interviews as well. So I said, well, when there is an interview, now supposing even if I give you 100% marks in internal assessment, and when you go for the interview, and if you don't seem to be worthy of those marks, do you think the people will still take you? And this was a point when there was silence. So then I asked them, okay, if you were a teacher, how would you look at internal assessment? Now, here then there became a shift, and there were different responses from the class. So somebody said, depending upon, ma'am, teacher के हाथ में number होते हैं. So I just was amused. I said, do you think it is a prasad which has to be given wholeheartedly to everybody? I said, no, the marks are to be earned. That internal assessment is to be earned. And how does one earn internal assessment? That is the criteria. And how will it help? What is it supposed to mean to earn internal assessment? Right? So here the student said, well, if we do what the teacher wants. I said, no, you are mistaken again. There has to be a dialogue between the teacher and the students, because it is of the whole learning process. The teacher has to know what are the expectations of the students from what we are engaging them in. And also there has to be an teacher's awareness as to what the students are expecting here. So there was this, and then regarding the internal assessment, we had a very interesting discussion. I said, the internal assessment, what does it mean for you, for a teacher? That it is one, an index of the learning that the student has done, and two, it is also an index of the whole learning process that has gone about, whether it could engage the learners or not. It is not just the outcome, the marks, and that it is not in isolation. It will be validated by the interview or the demo class that you would be taking in the school. So in the very first class, even before we started discussing about the subject, we were addressing the question of evaluation. We were discussing the nature of the paper. Now, very often, when we talk about the value-added courses, I believe that is what was mentioned in a message in the VAC. Am I right, Dr. Mumta? One of the chat messages mentioned about VAC courses?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
The value-added courses, right?
Yes, ma'am. Value addition course.
Yeah, thank you. So now, there are things that when as an institution we take up any component in our curriculum, do the students feel convinced about the value? Or we have put in a value-added course and then we want the students to join it? That is, to me, an important question. How important, to what extent are we able to convince our learners about the significance of the curriculum? And an important part for me, to my understanding, is that when we have the same curriculum syllabus, over the years, but there is the students who are different. Do we take cognizance of the learning needs of those students? Do we take cognizance as to what is the set of learnings that they have come with them when they have come to the class? Because that is the beginning, and from there begins the dialogue. We have to help them, know them. In one of my engagements with my school experience groups, I asked my students that just as the banks ask you to fill up a KYC, we all are aware of it. Yes? So the terminology that I have given to my students in the school practice teaching is KYL. Yeah. Yes, Dr. Naresh, student-centric. I am just not even talking of student-centric, that seems to be sometimes very indulging. I focus on teacher and student dialogue. We are together engaging in learning, and the students learn what we can share with them from our experiences, and we learn from them what they can share with from their new knowledge. So I somehow do not add to focus on only student centric uh, you know approach. I say I focus on the dialogical approach, that teachers have something to give from their experience and knowledge, and students have new knowledge and new set of experience skills which we can learn from them. And therefore then what is the focus is the process of learning, both of the students as well as the teachers, right? So when I was talking about KYL, know your learners, in my school where I'm going as a supervisor with my students, where they are the interns in practice teaching, I've asked them to get, you know, request their subject teachers as well as class teachers to give a brief idea about each student, and yet not to be prejudiced by that, whatever impression they are getting from their regular teachers, but to know the first thing, to know all their learners by their name and ask them about them. Now, this KYL, which I encourage my students to make, is so that every day in their interaction with the students, first, the least that they can know is their names, and something which every student is keen to share something about themselves. I am good at this. These are my fears, right? So what you will find, I am not in my FDP session, you are not getting new things, but I'm giving a reminder that have you been doing these, or in doing something which is new, you're forgetting the basics. So I'm taking you back to what were the basics of what makes you an educator. We need to refresh those qualities of ours which are basic to us as educators. A general observation that I had from my observations in schools and some of the colleges is, and I may be sounding very critical of the government policies, that there is so much emphasis on data submission. In Delhi, we are marking the Swachhata Pakhwada, which is extending up to a month. And the morning assembly address, our students are addressing every day the same thing. So I just asked them, have you started finding the morning assembly repetitive? And they said yes. So I said, don't you think the method can change? Instead of two individuals speaking every day for 15 minutes on Swachhata and what can be done, can there be a different methodology? Right. So let us reflect back on the basics that make us as educator. And one of those things is to re-examine what are our assumptions about our students, about the subject, about our nature of that subject, about our role. One major thing that we all go wrong largely is in thinking that we have to give them knowledge. No, courtesy, internet, everything is there on the net. But there are those minute insights and reflections which people do not register when they read the text. It is reading between those lines, the flipped classrooms, that can make more meaning for them. If we don't focus on the quantity and rather on the quality, if we don't focus on the theories, but rather on the process of how theories are formed, how theorization takes place, not on the philosophies but on the method of philosophizing, not on the social theories, but on the social relationships. That I believe that we can awaken our educators to those basic tasks that we have towards the responsibility that we have towards our teachers. So to my mind, an FDP needs to address, recall and refresh the vision that I have about myself as an educator. What is, how much, to what extent, and how do I present myself as a role model to be emulated? How clear and crisply am I able to communicate to the students my expectations from them? And to what extent are we able to put them into practice? And are they taking cognizance of that? If they are not taking cognizance of that, a very basic phenomena that I discussed in my, another phenomena that I discussed in my class is the Supreme Court decision regarding the stray animals. I'm sure many of you would be also pet lovers and would be listening and reading to the news that is there involved in this highly debated topic of Supreme Court decision about the stray animals in Delhi. Important celebrities are commenting that animals are voiceless. Do we not have a good number of vulnerable human beings on the roads who are equally voiceless? 2, 3 small children who are walking on the roadside, trying to go to school on their own, a senior citizen who may be walking using a walking stick, a patient visiting a doctor, maybe an equally voiceless person. Now, why is it that we are not trying to look at the issue in a holistic manner from different perspectives? We have been listening about the sterilization of stray animals for last so many years from Menka Gandhi. I mention a person because her efforts towards the animal welfare are very well renowned. I'm not questioning her, policy, but what I'm saying is the implementation of those policies. When, if we have been sterilizing stray animals for last so many years, then how is it that there are still stray animals on the road? This is the question that we need to answer. We need to address this question first and foremost, because that is the point which needs to be addressed. If the population of stray animals on the road continues to increase, and yet we present data that there has been sterilization happening, then where have these animals come from? So somewhere the data that we give to the government to fill the egos of the systems, those data are not authentic. Now, then, the most important question that an FDP needs to address is the question of authenticity and truthfulness. The most important part is authenticity. Is this data which is coming to us authentic? If it were authentic, where are these stray animals coming from? Possibly these two situations cannot coexist. can we take the response to the decision to this situation only on emotional basis, or do we find that there has to be some kind of rational and scientific posture as well? People are using companion mode. To find who's using companion mode, go to the people list. Okay, thank you very much. I'm okay, 1 minute, please. Sorry. Yeah. Uh, so, my most important question that you said for motivation, my answer to you would be know your learners. Please see what are their aspirations and ambitions. My frequent concern is that when we have students coming for education, many of them are engaged in multiple issues. They have a different set of ambitions and they have no sense of aspirations. They want social status, they want quick money, they want to be able to achieve their dreams. However, they do not focus on the values or aspirations. So we find that every individual feels lonely or lost. Now, I am moving on from motivation to this is a psychological perspective where my answer to you is to know your learners better and to engage them in reflections so that they can actually differentiate between their aspirations and ambitions. If you desire something, you have to work for that. It is not enough to desire something. If there is a goal, if you want to visit Taj Mahal, you have to move in that direction. If you want to move to Australia, you have to move in a different flight. You just cannot be doing, you cannot be walking on the road and imagining that you were standing in front of Taj Mahal. If you want to walk up to Taj Mahal, you will have to have the patience to spend that much time walking and have that much energy to walk. So whatever are the aims, the students are highly confused about aims. Our student in my class just now told me, आप नंबर दे दीजिएगा और हम अपने जो और कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स देने देते हैं उसकी तैयारी करते रहें. तो मैंने कहा कि बेटा, मैं यहाँ पर नंबर बांटने के लिए नहीं आई हूँ. I am here to ensure that you qualify and acquire all that skill set which is required of a teacher. I said, I have an accountability. Okay. So you are making a wrong request to me. Right. So their aims and expectations, there is often a mismatch between these. What do they expect and what are their aims? They want a degree in one field and they want to spend time doing something else. That is irrational. We need to help our students to examine the kind of incoherence that they have in their life. The next thing that I would like to share with all of you is that sometimes if we are teaching only theoretically, there is a big dilemma that I also face in my classes. When we follow the inductive approach and we talk about examples, and from those we try to arrive at help the students to build an understanding of concepts. Because this is what is actually experiential learning that is being advocated by the NAAC. Okay, right? We all recognize that NEP is talking about experiential learning, though it's not something new. Kothari Commission also talked about it in different words. Students want BA degree but don't want to. Yes, you are right. So, if we want them to have experiential learning, we must ask them first to ensure that, well, they have to bear the responsibility of, facilitate constructing those experiences. If they want to, uh, if they want to understand constitutional values, then justice begins with them, and they have to be prepared for the consequences for their negligence. We are not going to teach constitutional values theoretically. Every phenomenon, any concept, if there has to be a true education, has to be through a transformative experience, right? In fact, हम लोग की जिंदगी का हर लम्हा एक अनुभव नहीं होता. If all of us look back, जितनी भी हमारी life है, I am 60 plus, but if I try to recall significant experiences of my life, they will not be more than 100. हर साल में कितने लम्हे होते हैं जो हमारे लिए एक सिग्निफिकेंट एक्सपीरियंस का रूप ले लेते हैं, क्योंकि एक्सपीरियंस वो पल है जिसके बाद हम वो नहीं रहते जो उससे पहले थे. One moment which I shared with my students in this class just now was that, I said that when when we were growing up, तो हमारे घर में जब पहले लैंडलाइन भी आया, तो लैंडलाइन पर मेरे फादर ने अपने ऑफिस से फोन कॉल की और कहा कि मेरी माँ से मेरी बात करवा दो. एंड when I asked my grandmother that आप पापा से बात कर लीजिए, तो she saw the wire, cord wire, the cord of the phone, and she said, no, मैं नहीं उठाऊंगी, करंट लगेगा, तार है. Her basic primitive understanding was that every line, like wire, is got current, and if we touch it, we'll get a electric current. So she said to me, मैं नहीं करूंगी. Now, how to help her to overcome that fear? My mother spoke on the phone, I spoke, my siblings spoke, and after everybody in the household had spoken, we convinced her कि इससे current नहीं लगेगा, and then she took it next to her, ear to speak to my dad. Now, वो उस समय की बात है. आज इनके लिए टेक्नोलॉजी का चेंज इतनी तेजी से आ रहा है that they themselves have lost that appreciation for novelty, newness, right? So what I'm trying to put across is that education has to be transformative experience, and every activity that we do in the class may or may not be a transformative moment for all the students. But when they are given the responsibility for organizing it, then it shall definitely be a transformative moment experience for them. जिसमें जब वो करता होते हैं, then it is transformative. Sometimes that also they do very mechanically. But yes, therefore it has not to be the question of quantity. It has to be quality. There has to be a lot of dialogue with them before they come to the final conduction of that activity. Otherwise, it becomes a checklist. अब ये करना है, अब ये करना है, अब ये करना है, अब ये करना है. Unfortunately, our present education system has started it focusing on the quantity rather than the quality. When we focus on the responsibility with the students, then education, which should be a transformative experience, becomes possible. Now, in this, then what needs to be followed up is the process of reflection. I engage these days when students are all teachers, whether in colleges or schools. In fact, the entire society has got so much data driven that we overlook the component of quality, right? Initiative, leadership, these are overlooked. Can we tell the system that please don't focus so much on the data? Who amongst us has the courage to do that? We don't, we can't. One, all of us are not in that position to be able to take that stance and communicate. Two, if we are, we conserve our energies and we say let it go. But we need to say this thing that please stop focusing on the data, start looking at the quality. And the quality can come when we encourage reflection. And reflection cannot be, as a kind of a given time bound कि इतनी जल्दी तुम 5 मिनट दे रही हो, तुम इस 5 मिनट में ये रिफ्लेक्शन करके बता दो. It again requires engaging the students in a dialogue. And then you have to be very, very clear that when this dialogue happens, you are showing an openness to get their perspective. I was in one of the classrooms where the humidity level was pretty high. And I could see the discomfort on the faces of my learners. I did not question them. I did not wait for them to voice the discomfort. Instead, I asked them, are you not feeling uncomfortable because of the humidity in the environment? And believe me, they were so relieved to recognize that man has taken note of our discomfort. It is okay for us to accept that everything that the system is demanding may not be desirable. Not per se, but the focus on that quantitative data has perhaps gone overboard according to me. If we are given, I think we need to develop focus again through the reflection. What I would look for is building human relationships. And not only building human relationships, as in we should be open to understanding what is it that they are aspiring for and helping them to kind of sort out that whether what they are seeking is an aspiration or an ambition. Because if it is, and whether they are really, making sense of the amount of effort or whether it is justified what their ambitions are, or what their expectations are. And while talking about, we talk about constitutional values, we celebrated Independence Day, we spoke of freedom. In our own college, the students prepared videos where they asked each other, they covered the question, what does freedom mean to you? And many of them voiced, I should be able to speak what I think, I should be able to do what I like. But what we fail to tell them is that for freedom, there is a difference between freedom and licentiousness. स्वच्छंदता और स्वतंत्रता में अंतर है. स्वच्छंदता है, मैं चाहे ये करूं, मैं चाहे वो करूं, मेरी मर्जी. स्वतंत्रता है कि जो मैं सोचता हूं, समझता हूं, उसके लिए जो मैं चाहता हूं, उसके लिए मैं जिम्मेवारी उठाना चाहता हूं. Right? So, the important component of education and being an educator is nurturing that sense of responsibility. Our present generation of youngsters is quite confused. We are largely to be blamed. We focus so much on student-centric, in which we say, make things as comfortable for students as possible. We are swinging from that one extreme of authoritarian society to, a society wherein responsibility only comes when you are a position holder, otherwise आपकी कोई responsibility नहीं है. Which I think is a very wrong notion that we have given to our younger generation. Every individual who is benefiting, who is getting his needs fulfilled from society, has the responsibility of contributing towards the fulfillment of needs of the other members of society. अगर हमें सेफ्टी, सिक्योरिटी और अफेक्शन चाहिए, तो हमसे भी सेफ्टी, सिक्योरिटी और अफेक्शन किसी और को चाहिए. इट कैनॉट बी कि हम सेफ हों, लेकिन हमारे सामने अगर किसी की सेफ्टी खतरे में हो तो हम चुप्पी मार लें. When we witness violence on the street, we want the police to be there to check the situation. अगर हमारे साथ कुछ गलत होता है, then we want people to take up the initiative. कि लोग देखते रहे और लोगों ने कुछ नहीं किया. Sorry. So, the question of freedom has to be coupled with the question, the sensibility for responsibility. Can we only expect the system to do something? Why should we be looking up to NEP only to know what am I supposed to do? As an educated, qualified teacher, do you think NEP is saying something which you as an individual educator are not able to think of? We may not be able to identify the spectrum of sexuality that is being discussed, the spectrum of different types of disabilities, special needs that are being discussed, and we may need to know that information. But what we need not know from what we don't have to get from others is passion and commitment. We as human beings recognize the basic human values that we expect from all other members of society. लोगों को sensitive होना चाहिए to the needs of others. लोगों को sensible होना चाहिए, दूसरे को जो मदद चाहिए वो करें, उसको समझ में आए क्या करना है और करें. लोगों के अंदर एक सेंस ऑफ अकाउंटेबिलिटी होना चाहिए. But what happens when you are the society and somebody else has these expectations? क्या हम उस समय अपनी दुनिया में जो खोए होते हैं उससे वापस बाहर निकलकर आसपास के लोगों की जरूरतों और एक्सपेक्टेशंस को फुलफिल कर सकते हैं? शायद हमेशा नहीं. हम कभी कभी एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं, हम सब हमेशा शायद यही चाहते हैं सब हमारी जरूरतें समझें, हमारे को जो चाहिए वो पूरा हो, बाकी सबका जिम्मेवारी ऑफिस में जो सिस्टम्स के लोग हैं उनकी है. It is this, sense of accountability that we need to revisit. Our students should be able to see in us the role model. Just yesterday, a student of mine came to me with he did something which we may call as a disciplinary matter, right? He had he is annoyed with the system and he chose to put up a group mail voicing his annoyance. So when I chose to speak to him and I asked him, I said, well, why did you put that? Don't you think you have kind of polluted the total environment of the college? Did you try and come to talk to any of your teachers? So he mentioned one of my colleagues that I went to her. She did not listen to me. I said, but is she the last person in the college? She might have been preoccupied with her own tasks. Did you reach out to me? Did you call me up? Did you talk to me? Or you have a tool in your hand, your emails and group mails, and you choose to kind of, spill out any damn thing on that, and that's a record. He was quiet. Now, I did not have a punishment for him. Instead, I asked him to take responsibility as a student coordinator on one of the committees in which I am working. I am discussing with you people nothing new. I am here to help you recall, refresh, not fresh. There is nothing that you don't know. But when there is a directive the system demands, then we seem to kind of, bypass what is well known to us. My submission for your faculty development program is kindly recall your basics. Kindly recall what made you become an educator. Kindly revisit your skill sets. And then, yes, be open to what you can learn from your learners. When the internet came, of course, long time back. I ignored it. I avoided it. I did not, try to learn anything. Then it was somewhere in 2015, about 10 years ago. Even when I would ask my growing up son that I would like to understand how to use the system, he would just tell me, okay, mom, sit down, make mistakes, and learn. And then I was again, my ego got hurt. कि ये तो मेरे बस की नहीं है, ये मेरा मजाक उड़ा रहा है. Honestly speaking, it's a confession. And then one fine day, one of my students came with his laptop and he sat in my room and he said, ma'am, आप डरते क्यों हो? मेरा laptop है ना. I said, well, any of your data might get lost or whatever. And believe me, that boy is amongst some of those students who's become my teacher. Every day after the classes, he would sit down with me for half an hour and make me use his laptop till I overcame my fear of it, my hesitation. I don't have much competency in this field of technology, but he enabled me, he empowered me enough that I can address my basic functional needs for the system. And I'm always grateful to that boy. In my past 35 years of being a teacher educator, there have been several students from whom I have been able to learn many new things. In fact, we look forward to now, and for different realms of human experience, I am at the learning side from my students now, be it physical fitness, be it theater, be it uh, technology, be it aesthetics, be it spiritual experiences. My students have become my source of learning now, and I feel proud of it. It is so satisfying that you, those who began their journey from this institution, have now become so capable. They are so able, they are so skillful that they can now show us new pathways of learning. Besides this, I think, Dr. Mugdha, if there are questions at this point, I would like to address that. Otherwise, then I can add something more.
Yes, ma'am, there are questions, and I request organizing
Okay.
committees to see the questions and read for ma'am, or the participants can ask the questions at this moment.
Yeah.
Participants, you can ask your question with your open
Yeah,
camera, please.
just a minute, please.
There are questions in the chat box by Surya SSG, and like how can we effectively integrate technology in teaching learning processes?
All right. There has
Questions
to be
asked
a
by
relevance. Yeah. Can you please
yes,
classify the question, group the questions, and then read them out? That would be more
yeah,
convenient
sure, ma'am. Will do.
because there may be restrictions. See, my basic submission regarding the use of technology is that it should enhance efficiency, but not at the cost of developing human capabilities. You know, say for example, I find students submitting their assignments on the basis of ChatGPT. So I give it back to them कि दोबारा लिख कर लाओ. तो मैम इसमें क्या कमी है? So I give that student कि ये जो sentence तुमने लिखा है इसको repeat करो. And that student is not able to do it because that person has not, there are grammatical errors, there are spelling errors, there is a contextual thing, a gap, you know. So I just tell them, I don't want a chat GPT based assignment. I want your expression of thoughts and ideas. You get new ideas from chat GPT, fine. But ultimately you have to articulate them together, because when you will go to school, you will have to address the students' questions yourself. So I advocate selective use of technology. As I was sharing in one of my classes, the first-hand experience of germination cannot be replaced by a video on germination. Right? So that is one submission that I have to make. Yes, there are experiences which cannot be brought into the classroom or given to students as homework, but as we are able to connect now on because of technology, it saves time, it makes it possible for all of us spread around so many places to be communicating together. Yes, technology has its relevance, but I am very not do not nurture technology at the cost of humanity. That's my very clear, submission. Yeah. Yes, technology will help you to know the latest in the field of your discipline. But more important than knowing the latest is to see how the nature of the discipline has evolved. Has the nature of discipline changed? If so, how and why? Yes, Neela, you want to ask a question? Somebody by the name of Neela had raised a hand. All right. Is there any other question, please? I would also like to, if there is no question, I would like to bring your attention to that there is a difference between information and knowledge. When we are able to make meaning of a context with our own understanding, only then it is knowledge. Otherwise, it is all information. If the teacher is able to, dole out lots and lots of theories, that is not a very knowledgeable class. Unless only when the students engage in the process of arriving at an understanding that they have got knowledge. Otherwise, हमने किताबें पढ़नी, हमने theories बोल दी, हमने knowledge facilitate नहीं करी. हम knowledge दे नहीं सकते, कोई किसी को नहीं दे सकता. Right? हाँ, हम knowledge facilitate कर सकते हैं. तो वो facilitation तभी possible है जब हम उस परिस्थिति के साथ students को जोड़ सकें. If they are able to relate to that context, perceive the reality for themselves, perceive the reality की जो बात है, जहाँ मैंने आपकी तवज्जो पहुंचाई, कि ये जो स्ट्रे एनिमल्स को लेकर इशू चल रहा है, तो वॉइसलेसनेस की बात कही गई, that animals are voiceless, then there are many human beings also who are voiceless. जिसको ना सुना जाए वो voiceless है. Yes, Sudarshan ji, you want to ask something?
Hello, madam. Sorry for interruption, madam. But you have nicely explained that. What is the difference between information and knowledge?
Thank
If
you.
you permit me, I want to add something that, madam, but I want the same kind of the, we have to provide the student information with whenever we student become the able to convert that information into the knowledge. When he use that knowledge, that information to practical use, just like madam, you give the example of the animal, and through that the same way. And I add more, madam. When the knowledge becomes the mature, in the condition of the maturity, it convert into the wisdom. May
You
I
are
write,
right
ma'am?
about knowledge and wisdom, sir. But if
Yeah, yeah.
teacher's role was only to give information, then Google
Yes,
can replace you.
yes, madam. I agree with you, ma'am. There's the same way. We provide the information,
But
but at least student become people.
no, sir. The way
No, yeah,
I provide, the way I share that information is
yeah,
has to be a dialogical manner. Only then
yeah,
I become an educator, and then I
yeah,
am
yeah,
irreplaceable.
yeah, yeah. Yes, yes,
Believe
ma'am.
me, there are students who travel 3-4 hours to reach for my class because
Yeah, yeah, ma'am.
I've told them that what I have done in one class, if you ask me next time, even I will not be able to repeat what I said in the last class.
Yeah, yes, yes, ma'am. Yeah. Thanks a lot,
So
ma'am, for nice
please,
explanation, madam.
please
Yes, yes.
make sure that you are irreplaceable by Google.
Yeah, 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 ma'am. Yeah.
That's the only challenge for an educator.
Yes, yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, Sudarshan ji.
Thank you, Dr. Neelam. My observation about today's wonderful and knowledgeable lecture by you is it's very interesting to know that a lot of things for the faculty development program has to be done. That's fine. That is one aspect. You can create emotions. You can give them training for classroom improvement, management, etc. Maybe the technology can come and help them. But what about students who are not attending the classes? I mean, there's a serious case of absenteeism. So
Yes,
all our training goes waste, isn't it? So
absolutely right. I agree with you.
how do you
I
tackle
take,
such
yeah,
issues?
that is what I'm saying.
Don't
I
you
just
think
tell
there should be student development program also?
absolutely right, sir. We in our college ask the students to submit an undertaking that we are following NCTE norms, and if they do not fulfill the NCTE norms, we will not allow them to take the exam. Number one. Number two, I just declare the attendance at the end of every month. And in my class, the rule that I follow is there is a difference between absence and leave. Leave is with prior permission. Absence is you are not being accountable for your learning. So I don't allow absence. I accept leave. And then I tell them leave is also limited because at the end of the session, I want that you should leave this course, complete this course with learning and not only attendance. So I am very particular. If somebody has been absent from my class for 5 successive periods, I don't allow them to sit in my class. And then they're asked to go and meet the principal, then they give the undertaking. And when this action is taken by the teacher as well as the authorities, then they know कि या तो B.Ed करो तो ठीक से करो, नहीं तो टाटा बाय बाय कर लो.
Can I have some
We
question, Dr. Neelam ma'am?
Yes, sure, sir.
I'm
I hope
Dr. Ravi.
Sudarshan ji are satisfied your answer. The institution has to make sure that absenteeism is addressed as an institution.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
right.
I agree. please.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dr. Neelam,
Yes, sir.
hello.
Yes, I can hear
Can
you.
I
क्या
have can I have my input
जा-
there?
क्या करना है?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
अभी मैं बीच में नहीं आ सकता, 5 मिनट है लास्ट, 5-7 जाने दो, मैं अपने आप कर लूंगा बाद में, अभी मैं बहुत बिजी हूँ, वो सारा मेरा रिफ्लेक्शन आ रहा है वहाँ पर।
Rao sir, please mute yourself.
अरे कॉलेज की है ना।
Rao
Rao
sir,
sir,
please
mute कर
mute
लीजिए
yourself.
इसको. Anyhow, madam, my input is there. Can you listen me, all of you?
Yes, please.
This is my very simple input regarding the knowledge and transfer. Very simple thing is knowledge is that we know many more things at one time or in the space of the life. But
Your
it
voice is
has to
echoing
be
a bit, sir. Sir, your voice is echoing a bit. Can you just repeat it?
This is my submission regarding the knowledge and transfer. Knowledge, we can have certain knowledge at one time or in the space of our life. So 3 dimensions are there for knowledge. Knowledge for knowledge sake, knowledge for transfer, and knowledge for preservation. You can have knowledge. If you are capable, you can transfer it. But you can transfer it when you preserve the knowledge there. This is my addition on your words there right now. Okay, ma'am.
Thank you very much, sir. But I again feel transferring is perhaps not possible. Sharing is possible. Transferring is, it's an objective phenomena. You pick up an object, pick up from here and give it to somebody else. वो अब आपके पास नहीं रहा और आपने दूसरे को दे दिया. Like your mobile phone, it can either be with you or with somebody else. हम जब ट्रांसफर वर्ड यूज करते हैं. But sharing means सुगंध है, मेरे पास है, मेरे से कोई ले जा नहीं सकता, जो मेरी नॉलेज है मेरे पास रहेगी और मैं दूसरे के साथ भी साझा कर सकती हूँ. आपने जो कुछ नॉलेज गेन की है, जब आप शेयर करते हैं तो ऐसा नहीं होता कि आपसे हट जाती है, आपके पास भी रहती है. I hope I'm making myself clear.
Fine, ma'am, fine.
Thank you, sir. Any other question, please? My one last suggestion is that, the nature of discipline. Most of the educators, they communicate information, but they do not focus on the nature of discipline. I just give an example, like when we talk about elections. जब हमारे देश में या स्टेट में, yes, Kavita ma'am, you are audible. जी, Kavita ji, can I continue? Yeah. So, nature of discipline. I think most of the educators neglect the attention on the nature of discipline. For example, science has its own characteristic. Social science has its own characteristic. And mathematics has its own characteristic. Every discipline has a very unique nature. Now, an important part of pedagogy should be that how is new knowledge created? We find that we work as an agency of communication. हमने जो पढ़ा इंटरनेट पर, हम अपने स्टूडेंट्स को बता दें, तो हम रिप्लेसेबल हो जाते हैं. बट अगर हमारी मेथोडोलॉजी ऐसी हो that we try to give students an insight into the nature of discipline. And our pedagogy is such that they get a practice into the way new knowledge can be created in that particular field. Then we will be creating very good, scholars. Say, for example, I recently, just in January, I met a professor from JNU, from the School of Biotechnology, Professor Manoj Sharma. And he was telling me that he belongs to the state of Himachal. He said that, man, हमारे इंग्लिश और मैथ्स के टीचर ने हम सबको इंस्पायर किया और उस गांव के स्कूल से कम 20 साइंटिस्ट हैं जो वर्ल्ड ओवर बहुत वेल एस्टैब्लिश्ड हैं. Now what they do is they go back to their village for 2 weeks each and they have set up all the latest technology there for the students of that village, and they teach those children of the village there. तो जब ये 20 लोग 2-2 हफ्ते के लिए साल में 2-2 बार भी जाते हैं, तो आप ये देखिए कि दे आर गिविंग बैक टू द स्कूल जहाँ के 2 टीचर्स ने उनको इंस्पायर किया टू बी द बेस्ट वर्जन ऑफ देमसेल्व्स. The biggest role for a teacher is to inspire. और हम चल रहे हैं, स्टूडेंट्स चल रहे हैं, स्टूडेंट्स हमारे हमसे बहुत आगे निकल चुके हैं. Many of my students, I feel so proud of them, the way they are performing in their own respective personal lives and professional lives. And we seek to invite them back to college to interact with the present generation of students. So in our pedagogy, my submission to all of you is, please remember not just the content, but that the methodology should reflect the nature of discipline and the way new knowledge is created in that discipline. अगर इकोनॉमिक्स है तो जिसे कहते हैं ना कि बच्चे जो हैं उस पर्सपेक्टिव से हर डिसिप्लिन एक नजरिया देता है. हिस्ट्री वाला हर चीज को ऐतिहासिक दृष्टिकोण से देखे, इकोनॉमिक्स वाले को हर बात में इकोनॉमिक पर्सपेक्टिव नजर आए, लैंग्वेज वाला हर जगह एक लिंग्विस्टिक सेंसिबिलिटी दिखाए. It's not just about the content. It is a lot about the preparation of the mind to function in that particular manner. To see those nuances, to be able to appreciate the world around them from that particular sensitivity. That is what I would, I admire a teacher for. That you are able, one, to inspire them to be good human beings, always a better person. पहली बात. दूसरी बात, इसमें सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आती है. गुड मेरा का मतलब ये नहीं कि जो दुनिया को पसंद आए वो हाँ जी करते जाए. सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, one's own sense of right and wrong ki wisdom, and then they should also be able to contribute to the growth of knowledge and responsible citizens. अपने लिए, समाज के लिए और प्रकृति के लिए, नेचर के लिए, तीनों के प्रति जो है सेंसिटिविटी, सेंसिबिलिटी एंड सेंस ऑफ रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, उस सब में जितनी नीतियां आती हैं, आई एम नॉट अपोजिंग द पॉलिसीज, बट आई एम सेइंग पॉलिसीज की इतनी जरूरत ना पड़े सरकार को. वी शुड बी एबल टू focus on, well, they are supposed to provide you with the insight, guidelines and all, but पहले अपने आप की जो प्रेरणा है अंदर की, वो ज्यादा मायने रखती है. So this is where we look for to inspire our students to be good human beings, to be good learners. Okay, and good human beings means responsibility towards self, society, and nature. Because आज हम जितनी so called progress कर रहे हैं, वो एक सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी कर रहा है एट द कॉस्ट ऑफ अनदर सेक्शन ऑफ सोसाइटी. हम मेट्रो बनाते हैं तो हम इकोलॉजिकल इम्बैलेंस क्रिएट कर देते हैं, और फिर हमारे पास जो है धनाली जैसी घटनाएं घटनी हैं, और फिर हम परेशान होते हैं. हम पहले ही संतुलित ढंग से क्यों नहीं डेवलपमेंट कर सकते? In fact, our teacher, our founder principal, and my PhD guide, Professor Ati Sharma from Delhi University, used to say that हमारी जो डेवलपमेंट की परिभाषा है, there is a fault with it. It is not inclusive. It is greed. हम ये नहीं देख रहे कि हम प्रकृति को जब इतना इम्बैलेंस कर रहे हैं, हम कंफर्ट बढ़ा रहे हैं समाज में, लेकिन हम नेचर को थ्रेटन कर रहे हैं, और अब नेचर पलटकर हमें थ्रेट कर रही है, और उसको हम समझ नहीं रहे हैं. सबसे वॉइसलेस तो नेचर है बेचारी. सो वी आर वरिड व्हेन नेचुरल कैलामिटीज अकर. बट आप खुद देखिए कि आपके पास जितनी चीजें हैं, today's there was a time when we used to read the newspaper, the front page used to have the headlines of global importance or national importance. आज पहले 3 पेज advertisements. Economy has dominated our existence. जरूरत से नहीं, इच्छाओं से जिंदगी चल रही है, और इच्छाओं का कोई अंत नहीं. क्योंकि जब नया एड देखा, नई चीज नजर आई, तो मुझे ये भी चाहिए. The simplicity that Gandhi talked of is forgotten. वो 2 अक्टूबर को गांधी जयंती मनाते हैं, लेकिन गांधीयन प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ सिंप्लिसिटी पर हम नहीं जी पा रहे हैं. I have very often asked my students कि बेटा आप अपनी अलमीरा में जाकर देखिए कौन सा कपड़ा है जो पिछले 2 साल से इस्तेमाल नहीं हुआ है, तो किसी को दे दो, वो पड़े पड़े खराब होने के बदले किसी के काम आ जाएगा. So these are some basic things which I take up sometimes randomly, and my students with great amusement and kind of cynical look at me tell me, आप पढ़ा कब रही थी? तो मैंने कहा जितना तुमने समझ लिया मैं वही पढ़ा रही थी, उससे ज्यादा मैं पढ़ा ही नहीं सकती. So these are some of the issues that I have wanted to raise with you people. I don't know whether you find it as professional development or not. My discipline compels me to tell you people that please visit back the basics that an educator should keep in mind. Yes, updating is important. Staying ahead of times is also important. But पेड़ जब बढ़ता है तो जड़ें जमीन से बाहर नहीं आती हैं. जड़ें वहीं रहती हैं जहां उन्हें होना चाहिए. So do revisit and strengthen, enrich your roots, your basics, your vision with which you became an educator. Refresh them always. First refresh those. Check कि जो मैंने माना था क्या मैं उस पर जी रहा हूं या कहीं और आगे निकल गया. तो बेसिक्स ठीक रहेंगे तो प्रोग्रेस भी बहुत अच्छी होगी. So, Mukta ma'am, I would like to, I think, sum up here. Is there, if there's anything else that anybody else would like to ask?
Yes, please. If
Yes,
anyone has
participants,
more
is there any
questions.
question?
If some more questions are there, you may please ask, or then we will end the session. Yes, ma'am. I suppose.
Ma'am, am I
there are no
audible?
more- Yes. Am I audible, ma'am?
All right.
Yes, Kavita ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, sir. Based on one participant side, how can we foster a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship among academicians? Please throw some light on this.
Culture of innovation and
I audible,
Kavita ma'am, yeah, you mentioned about culture of innovation and
Innovation and entrepreneurship among academicians.
all right. See, if there is, I think we can only encourage curiosity. We cannot guarantee innovation. अगर हर रोज होने लग गई तो वो innovation कहाँ है? Innovation cannot be a habit. We have to encourage exploring something new. But that's something necessary. Yes, and entrepreneurship also. See, for example, in our course, we have in the 2-year B.Ed program, I'm sure you also follow it, the course on EPC ICT. We had about 4 years ago, this girl, Kanchan Gandhi. स्कूल में जॉब नहीं लगी, थोड़े दिन के बाद यूट्यूब खोला तो कंचन गांधी के यूट्यूब पे चैनल पर आ रहा हाउ टू प्रिपेयर फॉर B.Ed एंट्रेंस एग्जाम. किसी ने कहा नहीं था कि कंचन तुम इस तरह से अपनी इनकम जनरेट कर सकती हो. और हमें कैसे पता चला कि 3 साल के बाद जो बैच आया तो हमने कहा कि अच्छा बेटा B.Ed की तैयारी कैसे करी थी? बोले कंचन गांधी के यूट्यूब चैनल पे देखा था. Now we were pretty impressed. Entrepreneurship means that you see the needs of the society and you see what skill sets you have and then become create a process of being the person who fulfills that need of the society. तो इसका कोई पहले से फॉर्मूला नहीं दे सकता कि एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप में क्या आएगा. सोसाइटी की नीड्स है, एक तरह से पूरी हो रही थी, एक तरह से नहीं हो रही थी. जिस तरह से हो रही थी शायद लोग बोर हो गए, कोई नया तरीका ढूंढने की जरूरत है. एक और स्टूडेंट हाल ही में अभी वो 22 में पास आउट हुआ. जब उसकी जॉब नहीं लगी तो जानते हैं उसने क्या किया? उसने अपने एरिया में जाके जो मेहंदी लगाती थी लेडीज, नाउ दिस इज द इलिटरेट ग्रुप which has a skill and which does not know technology. और उन सबको उसने कहा कि मैं तुम्हें काम दिलवाऊंगा. और सोसाइटीज में जाके उसने पैम्पलेट बांटे. उसने देखा कि कौन से स्किल वाले लोग हैं जिनके पास ये टेक्निकल स्किल नहीं है कि वो व्हाट्सएप नहीं यूज कर सकते, वो नहीं कर सकते. वो और जो उनके कंज्यूमर हैं उनके बीच में उसने कनेक्शन बना दिया और पर्चे बांट दिए अपने फोन नंबर से. लोग उसको फोन करें, हमें इसके लिए रिसोर्स पर्सन दे दो. जो आज आपका कहीं जगह डॉक्टर्स के केस में प्रैक्टो करता है या उस तरह से, तो बहुत सारी ऐसी सर्विसेज हैं जिसके लिए कोई ऐसा ऐप नहीं है या वेबसाइट नहीं है जो प्रोवाइड करे, उसने उसका वाया मीडिया निकाला एक लोकल कम्युनिटी के लिए, एक एरिया के लिए, और पर पर्सन जो उसने फैसिलिटेट करवाया कम्युनिकेशन, उसने अपना वहां रख लिया. So entrepreneurship is something which you can't expect from everybody. Innovation is not something that you can expect from everybody. It cannot be pre-planned. It's an attitude where you try to seek fresh, way of, you have to be sensitive to the needs of a community and look for alternative ways and resource people to fulfill those needs. Yeah. That's what I believe.
And we can say it is situation based, whatever circumstances.
It is situation based. So जब हम कहते हैं to make people responsible towards society, तो कौन सोसाइटी की क्या नीड है और क्या सोसाइटी का ही कोई व्यक्ति उस नीड को पूरा कर सकता है और कैसे हो सकता है, उन दोनों के बीच में कनेक्ट करवाना. That's primarily what is entrepreneurship all about. In some schools, I remember one of my friends, she was the principal of SD Public School, Pitampura. तो आपने जो मीशो की ऐप देखते हैं आजकल, वो बच्चा उस स्कूल से पढ़कर निकला था. And she said he used to have some problems कि मैंने ये काम नहीं करना, वो नहीं करना. तो she said तो तुम्हें क्या करना है, तू वो करके दिखा दे. हॉलीडेज होमवर्क जो टीचर्स ने दिया है वो नहीं करना, तो कुछ तो करना होगा, कुछ नया करके तो खुद दिखा दे. And then he presented that plan of his, and that is how she introduced him to experts in that field. कहाँ से कैसे वो internship करता हुआ finally that person landed up creating Misho. So that openness of the principal to that, intelligence of the student कि वो society की needs को देखकर वो काम करना चाहता है, और किताबों से पढ़कर मैंने holidays homework नहीं करना, मत कर भाई. So that's openness. Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else, please? Yeah.
I think ma'am,
I
there is-
suppose there are no more questions. Nisha ma'am, please.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you very much, ma'am, for such an enriching and inspiring session. Your insights on teacher training and professional development have given us much to think about, and I'm sure each of us is taking away valuable lessons from your words. We have just witnessed a deeply enriching session that touched both theory and practice. It's now time to express our gratitude for today's learning. On behalf of St. Thomas College of Education, I extend my heartfelt gratitude to our esteemed resource person, Dr. Neelam Mehta Bali ma'am, for delivering such an insightful and thought-provoking session. Your expertise, inspiring ideas, and practical suggestions have not only enriched our understanding of teacher training, but have also motivated us to pursue professional growth as a continuous journey. My heartfelt appreciation is also extended to our esteemed management team, Dr. N.K. Tyagi sir, IQAC coordinator, Dr. Mugdha Anand, and the entire organizing committee for their guidance and support, as well as to all participants for making this day meaningful through your active engagement. Once again, I thank to everyone. There is a gentle reminder for participants. Kindly fill the feedback form, which will be shared in our WhatsApp group shortly. We look forward to your active participation tomorrow at 11 a.m. for the next session of our FDP. Let's carry forward today's insight into our classroom and into our professional lives. With this, we conclude today's session. Thank you and have a great day ahead. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, all of you. And last
Thank
but
you,
not the least, please do relate the current affairs, local, national, and global, as and when possible in your classes. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very
ma'am.
much, all of you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Mugdha.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Participants may leave now.